Welcome to Dopamine Clinic, the place where you'll unlock the secrets of your mind and transform your life. In today's episode, we'll explore the subconscious mind, the hidden force that shapes our beliefs, actions, and ultimate potential. You think you know who you are. Your name, your likes, your beliefs, your limits. What you're good at, what you're not. The kind of person you are in a group. What love means to you. What success looks like. But here's the truth you've never been told. None of that came from you. It was installed. You weren't born thinking you're awkward, insecure, lazy, or weak. You were programmed into believing it. And until you face that, you'll never become who you really are. From the moment you were born, you started adapting. You cried, gives got ignored. You screamed, gives got punished. You questioned, gives got shut down. You spoke your mind, gives they told you to stay quiet. You showed emotion, gives they told you to be strong. So what did you do? You adjusted. You learned how to. Please, shrink, blend in, stay safe. Get approval, and slowly, without even knowing it, you built a false self, not fake like dishonest. False like strategic, because you thought, if I become what they want, maybe they'll stay. Maybe I'll be enough. Xavier was 19. Polite, well-spoken, honest student, never broke rules. Parents were proud, teachers loved him, everyone said, that kid's going far. But he came to me hollow, he said, I don't know who I am. I've done everything right, and I feel dead inside. Because all his life, he wasn't becoming himself. He was becoming who they told him he should be. When he was angry, he smiled. When he was hurt, he laughed it off. When he was lost, he worked harder. When he wanted to scream, he journaled quietly and said, I'm okay. He wasn't living, he was performing. And he was exhausted. Let's break it down. There are 4 primary forces that shape your false self, and none of them are you. 1. Parents' fear-based conditioning. You were taught, be quiet, don't talk back. You're not allowed to feel that, so you stopped expressing your full range of emotions. You became easy to manage, but inside, you started dying. 2. School reward, punishment systems. You were trained to obey, not question. Raise your hand, say what they want to hear. Get the grade, don't stand out too much. You were never taught how to think, only how to comply. 3. Society performance and comparison. Be pretty, be smart, be successful, but not too much. Don't be arrogant, fit in, but be unique. Be emotional, but not too sensitive. Stand out, but stay in your place. You started living outside in. Letting the world decide your value. 4. The internet digital identity sculpting. Your phone started telling you who to be. Algorithms showed you what to want. Filters showed you what beauty means. Comment sections decided your worth. You don't even know what your real voice sounds like anymore, because it's been drowned in noise. So what happens after 15, 18, 22 years of wearing a mask? You break, not always loudly, sometimes quietly. You stop feeling excited about anything. You self-sabotage your best opportunities. You smile and laugh, but feel nothing. You feel like a stranger in your own body. That's not mental illness. That's soul abandonment. And it's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to come back to yourself. I asked Xavier to write down everything he believed about himself. I'm nice, I'm logical. I don't get angry. I'm not creative. I'm not a risk taker. Then I asked, who told you that? Was it you? Or were you taught to be that way? And that cracked him. He realized he wasn't being himself. He was being predictable, safe, palatable. So we did something brutal. He tore up the list, because sometimes the first step to becoming who you are is destroying who you were told to be. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the part of you that you hide, repress, or deny. We went looking for it. I told Xavier, Write down every part of yourself you've been told is wrong. He wrote, my anger, my competitiveness, my ego, my weird humor, my desire to be alone, my attraction to things others don't get. Then I told him, that's the real you, buried under shame. And that's where we started excavating. Because what you repress controls you, but what you embrace frees you. This part is terrifying. Because when you burn the false self, there's nothing left. You feel lost, confused, empty. And that's when most people run back to comfort. But I told Xavier, sit in it. Let the silence hit you like a wave. And he did. He stopped performing. Stopped answering texts. Stopped being who people expected. For 2 weeks, he walked like a ghost. But by week 3, something wild happened. He started hearing a voice, not literal, but deep inside, a whisper. This is who I've been. Can you hear me now? Xavier wasn't lazy. He wasn't fake. He wasn't lost. He was just buried, under expectations, under praise, under fear, under shoulds and musts. He wasn't trying to become someone. He was finally returning to someone, the boy who used to ask deep questions, the kid who was full of curiosity and fire, the soul that wanted to speak, but got told to shut up. He's coming back, not polished, not perfect, but real. And that's where everything changes. After weeks of silence, Xavier no longer felt lost. He felt clean. He had burned the scripts, faced the shadows, sat inside the void. Now came the real work, not surviving without the false self, but building a new one. This time, not made by fear, but by truth. Here's a lie you've been told your whole life. Just be yourself. But if yourself is a programmed version of what others needed from you, then being yourself just means repeating your conditioning. Xavier asked me, then how do I figure out who I actually am? I told him, you don't find yourself. You build yourself. The truth is simple and terrifying. You are whoever you decide to become, over and over again. We started with clarity. I gave Xavier a blank sheet of paper. At the top, he wrote, the man I am becoming. Underneath, he answered, what do I believe? What do I stand for, even when it costs me? What will I never again allow? What habits will I embody until they're part of my bones? Who must I leave behind, even if they love me? His answers weren't pretty. They were brutal, honest, real. He wrote, I'm not someone who pleases people to avoid conflict. I will say what I think, even if my voice shakes. If I can't be myself around you, I won't be around you. I don't hide anymore, from anyone. And for the first time in years, he felt whole. Here's where psychology takes over. Your brain doesn't care about your goals. It only believes what you repeat. So we created a system, the identity lock-in ritual daily 15 minutes. Every morning, read his non-negotiables. Look in the mirror. Say, I am not who I was. I am who I build. Write one action he'll take today that aligns with the new self. Cut one behavior that feeds the old self every night. Reflect. Did I live by the new code today? If not, why? What will I do different tomorrow? Repetition, review, refinement, daily. Because you don't become who you want to be. You become who you rehearse being. This part hurt. Xavier had people who only knew the old him. The agreeable guy, the emotional sponge, the fixer, the nice boy who never said no. And some of them had to go, because when you evolve, your environment must evolve with you. We created his environment audit, who drains me, who expects the version of me I no longer am, who keeps me small because it makes them comfortable. Then, he made cuts, some quiet, some loud, but every one of them necessary. Because the old self will never die if it keeps getting invited back in. At week 4, Xavier hit a wall. He said, this new version of me feels powerful. But part of me misses the comfort of not being seen. That's real, because your false self didn't just protect you, it served you, in its own twisted way. It helped you avoid conflict, gave you validation, made life predictable, made you likable. But like a crutch used too long, it also made you weak. So when Xavier felt that pull back into passivity, people-pleasing, and approval addiction, we didn't shame it, we stared it down. He started tracking the pull moments, whenever he wanted to, stay quiet, lie to be liked, laugh at something he didn't agree with. Avoid discomfort, he logged it, reflected, and replaced it with one bold act. Over time, the old pattern stopped calling his name. By now, Xavier had written his new code, rewired his rituals, cut the anchors, replaced the patterns, but there was one thing left: used a new identity to serve others. This is the final stage of becoming. You don't truly know who you are until your presence changes someone else's life. Xavier started sharing his truth, spoke up in groups when something felt fake, had hard conversations with his parents, told friends no when it violated his new code, started mentoring younger guys dealing with identity confusion. And that's when his voice changed. It wasn't shaky anymore, it carried weight, because now he wasn't speaking from programming. He was speaking from truth. One night, I asked Xavier, "What would you say to the 10-year-old version of yourself?" He didn't speak at first. Then he whispered, "I'm sorry I abandoned you to be light. I'm here now, and I'm never leaving again." And he cried, not from weakness, from completion. Because that's what this journey really is, not about becoming something new, but finally being safe enough to come home to yourself. Maybe you've never questioned who you are. Maybe you're still performing, without even knowing it. Here's your mirror. If you constantly seek validation, you're still programmed. If you're afraid to speak your mind, you're still in costume. If you feel empty even though everyone likes you, you're living someone else's story. Burn the script. Come back to the parts of you you buried to survive. You don't owe anyone the version of you that kept you safe. You owe yourself the version of you that will set you free. You weren't born to be polite. You weren't born to be predictable. You weren't born to be liked by everyone. You were born to be real, to speak with weight, to live with fire, to walk like someone who knows exactly who they are. This is Dopamine Clinic. We don't do self-help. We delete the program and write a new script from scratch. You don't find yourself. You remember what they made you forget.